We departed our seaside camp and continued our journey north through the Uruguayan countryside. But no sooner did we hit the highway than we came across a couple of local riders stranded on the side of the road.
¿Todo bien? Oh shit, weird.
With a flat and no way to fix it, they asked us to run up to the nearest gas station and pick up a can of sealant, which, as most of you probably know, isn't designed for motorcycle tires. But having promised to ride to the closest tire shop, we obliged. But some flats affix a flat won't. Say that 5 times fast. And after a group effort, our new friends hitched a ride into town with their lopsided and foam-filled street donut, while Chad and I inched closer to the Brazilian border. But the sweltering sun and our sweat-soaked gear was just too much. So we called it an early day, stripped off our moist protection, and decided to whittle away the daylight on a remote beach, where we promptly got stuck in the sand.
It says it's a street, I guess not. Try to roll the front tire forward, okay? Ready?
Tires for the test. And what did we do? We went.
After toasting our makeshift clutch plates, we resigned ourselves to failure and retreated to lick our wounds in the bohemian enclave of Punta del Diablo. Departing Punta del Diablo, we made the short ride to the frontera, where we illegally crossed the border into Brazil.
Okay, muchas gracias. Hola.
Well, if you're not careful, you could just leave Uruguay and cross over to Brazil without even knowing it.
Strategic allies, the exact location of the Uruguayan-Brazilian border can be easy to miss if you're not on the lookout. But after a bit of backtracking and an apology, we did the passport thing and were officially welcomed into Terra de Santa Cruz, Portuguese for the land of the Holy Cross.
All right, babe. Another day, another border, a new country. We're in Brazil. High five. Yeah. Brazil. Brazil. Brazil.
Where we indulged in some impromptu capoeira and celebrated with a fresh zip tie.
These are the finest zip ties Chile had to offer.
Just leave it. It's an antenna.
You want me to leave that up there?
I might get some good stations.
It's a good look, yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. They have wind in Brazil too. I did not realize that.
Brazilian wind. But no sooner had we crossed the border than the winds of fortune shifted.
I'm wet.
You're always wet.
Bullshit.
The skies opened up, and we were confronted by death.
Capybara.
Yeah. A dead capybara with no eyes. Holy crap. Look at the size of that thing.
And ran headlong into the original ROUSs. Rodents of unusual size. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, do yourself a favor and watch The Princess Bride. It's an absolute classic.
Oh man, we found the original ROUSs. Those things are cool.
I like them. They're so cute.
Yeah, they were just kind of looking at it like, hey, what is that thing?
Yeah, I could tell they weren't running.
No, they weren't freaked out at all.
Just beyond the border, our Uruguayan SIM cards failed us, and the Portuguese road signs left us a bit baffled. Riding without a map or data, we were forced to rely on the somewhat dodgy Maps.me. Having heard stories of fellow moto travelers hit with thousands of dollars worth of traffic fines whilst attempting to exit the country, largely due to the Orwellian number of speed cameras that adorn the highways, we were flying both blind and paranoid as we dipped into our first Brazilian city. We continued north on Highway 116, detouring occasionally over wet clay, under ever-changing skies, and through a confusing network of toll booths, some of which simply waved us through, and others, well, not so much. Facing a deadline to meet friends, we continued riding into the tempest, stopping only occasionally to fuel up both bike and body. But the closer we got to the ironically named Shangri-La, the worse the weather got, until we found ourselves riding straight into a cyclone that would end up displacing thousands and claiming the lives of dozens of Brazilians throughout the state of Rio Grande do Sul.
I'm officially fucking wet. God damn it.
Could not physically be wetter. Look at that. Got water pouring out of my jacket.
There's Shangri-La, and I don't know where we're supposed to go.
Okay, so it lost directions now, so now we don't even know where the house is because it's not going to prompt because we don't have data. Okay, recently viewed. That must be it. I'm just going down to the beach and hanging a left.
Arriving in the nick of time, and despite odds, we located our friends, Roseanne and Fernando.
A little bit of rain out there, guys?
Yes, a little bit.
Little bit.
Maybe enough for a submarine.
Stripped off our wet gear and hunkered down.
The clothes aren't going to dry like this, that's for sure. Woo! It is coming down, boy. Cyclone. There.
Oh, he's so cute. Look at him.
He's terrified. He's terrified of you.
Look at him. Get him a bug to eat.
Get him a bug to eat? You get him a bug to eat.
Oh! Oh no, he's under the bed. Oh wait, there he went.
Don't step on him. Crush him, crazy.